What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Red King 50 baby back at it again. I know it's been 2 weeks since I made a video when Tomlin stepped down. Um, this off season has been very interesting. Um, Mike McCarthy is the new head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, initially, I was very frustrated with this hire. I think it took me like 4 or 5 days to kind of like sit back and think about it. But then I was sitting there and I was like, I want to see his staff, right? So the last few days, Mike McCarthy has been assembling a staff for this upcoming season in the wake of Tomlin stepping down, right? So he's only retained one coach, and that was Tom Marth. Um, I can't bitch about that. But he's brought in guys like Patrick Graham, who had the Raiders defense 13th in total defense. I thought that was pretty good with the pieces that he really had. Um, let's not forget that his defense was actually part of the 63-7 blowout over the Chargers. That's just wow. Um, he's brought in some good coaches, some young coaches, some old coaches. He brought Jari Evans in as an O-line coach. He brought James Campen, who will go into the Hall of Fame because of what his work with the Packers has looked like. Um, yeah, I like that. I think that, to me, Mike McCarthy's building a offense that is productive and something that could be like in the modern NFL, and I'm fine with that. You know, he's bringing in like offensive assistants, defensive assistants, offensive coordinator, or not offensive coordinator, pass game coordinators for offense and defense. Um, Chief of Staff, Steve Scarnecchia, um, and they recently got like a D line coach, Doma. Fuck, I don't want to fuck up his name. I like him too because I just listened to an audio. He had me ready, bro. Domama Peko from the he was a former player for the Cincinnati Bengals. He was a former defensive lineman for the Cincinnati Bengals. I actually remember him because all those years with the Bengals, that time frame, I think he was there when Steelers beat the Bengals in the playoff game. But dude, I like his energy. So they're bringing him as the D line coach. Um, dude, that's fucking great. You know, you get former players, you know, coming in to help this team. I think that's really a good thing. Um, Mike Vrabel did the exact same thing with the Patriots. So I don't know why people are getting pissed off. Like, what the fuck? Um, but I'm looking at the size of the staff, and the one thing I'm noticing is a lot of people are bitching at Mr. Rooney because, quote unquote, and I read this earlier today, he's pulling out the wallets from Mike McCarthy, but he wasn't doing it for Tomlin. Let me just, if I'm gonna push Mike McCarthy aside real quick, because I have to talk about Tomlin for a second. Mike Tomlin had more power than you people fucking believe. He had the power to choose what players he wanted, who he wanted signed, who he wanted there, what to do, what coaches to hire, who to fucking remove. He had power. I don't want to hear that bullshit. For me, and I was listening to a lot of people who were giving Debo, James Harrison, shit when he said Mike Tomlin is not a Hall of Fame coach. I agree. I agree. He's not a Hall of Fame coach. He won one Super Bowl with Bill Cowher's staff and players. He did not build that team. That team was already handed to him. Okay? But a lot of people bitch at me whenever I bring that up. And then they were like, well, what about Cowher? Because I became a fan when Cowher was still coaching. Cowher inherited Chuck Noll's staff. No question. In the 90s, some of it was Chuck Noll's players. But if you go into the 2000s, he drafted and developed guys. And they were his players. And he won with his players. So there's the difference. He had them going to AFC Championship games. He had them going to win the division titles. He was winning playoff games with his own players. I want to know, and I want people to honestly think about this. When was the last time, right? And I'm not saying Big Ben or James Harrison because those were Cowher players. Big Ben was drafted by Cowher. James Harrison was picked up as a undrafted rookie with Cowher. When was the last time Mike Tomlin won a playoff game or won a game of significance with his own players? I'm talking about beating elite teams with his own players. I want someone to tell me when he did this so I can look at it and be like, oh, okay, there you go, that's one. He couldn't win with his own players. Now I'm going to throw out a challenge. If Mike McCarthy wins with this roster, something Tomlin could not do. If he wins a playoff game with this same roster Tomlin just had, if he wins a playoff game, that's a really bad look for Tomlin. Because all the playoff losses, it would add up. It would show that, wow, he really was cooked. He really is not that good as a head coach. Because you could be a good regular season coach. When you are a terrible postseason coach, and that's basically what your reputation is, what do you do in the postseason? I don't give a damn about the fucking regular season. The regular season to me is like, listen, you gotta win to get into the playoffs. What you do in the playoffs fucking matter. And to me, Mike Tomlin couldn't even get that done. Always getting blown out in the playoffs. Always losing to teams that you should have fucking beaten. Like the Denver Broncos when they had fucking Tim Tebow, but you lose to them on the very first play of overtime. Losing to Peyton Manning when his arm was fucking shot and you had the fucking lead in that game and you pissed it away. Losing in blowout fashion to the New England Patriots in the AFC Championship game. Losing to the Baltimore Ravens, who you've had their fucking number for years. You were down 21-0 at halftime to Lamar Jackson. Losing to the fucking Bills. Losing to the Browns. Everybody want to bitch about the players and all that good shit. But we never have this conversation. Mike Tomlin's not a great head coach. Bill Belichick, a lot of people are bitching that Bill Belichick's not in the Hall of Fame. To me, he's a Hall of Famer. He is a Hall of Famer. He has done fucking great in the postseason. I will not deny that. Andy Reid, the same fucking thing. Andy Reid, if you look at his time in Philly, he had great fucking teams in Philly. From Donovan McNabb to Westbrook to fucking T.O. to great teams. He had great teams. He had Brian Dawkins. Brian Dawkins, bro. I want to know. And then you look at his fucking teams when he went to Kansas City, dude. He drafted and fucking developed them. Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelsey, fucking what is it? Tyreek Hill, um, dude. He Xavier Worthy, fucking Isaiah Pacheco, guys they fucking bet, dude. You don't understand. He has more playoff wins than Tomlin. Belichick has more playoff wins than Tomlin. Fucking John Harbaugh, who got fired by the Ravens, has more playoff wins than Tomlin. Fucking Sean McVay has more playoff wins than Tomlin. Kyle Shanahan has more playoff wins than Tomlin. But they don't really consider Sean McVay or Kyle Shanahan a great coach because of what they fucking do. I don't want to hear that shit. At least Kyle Shanahan got to 2 Super Bowls with 2 different fucking quarterbacks. One that he drafted. It makes you fucking wonder. By Tommy, you held this fucking team back when they had great rosters. You couldn't even win with your own players. With your own players. That's an indictment. That Super Bowl that you won in 2008, that's an indictment. Shit, you better send that shit to Bill Cowher. Bill Cowher, to me, is a 2-time Super Bowl champ. That's his fucking roster. You benefited off of that shit. You didn't fucking win anything with that. You didn't build anything with that. You didn't build. And when it came time for you to build something, you left us in a state where we're not even winning playoff games. We're talking about your fucking streak. So, to anybody defending Tomlin thinking that he's a Hall of Famer, that's bullshit. And I got the fucking track record to prove it. All the fucking misses that he was missing in the draft. All those fucking times where he had guys and they shipped him off because he couldn't fucking hold it down as a head coach. Not being able to get good coordinators in here. Not being able to fucking put this team in a position to fucking succeed. Mike Tomlin, you only got to one AFC Championship game after 2011. One. You know who else has the same track record that you have? Just in a different sport? Doc Rivers. And where has Doc been without the Big Three in Boston? Nowhere to be found. He fucking shits the bed in the playoffs. He literally shits the bed in the playoffs. You could have gotten way more if you just built with your own players. If you actually developed them correctly. You did not do that. If Mike McCarthy, and I am saying this now, if Mike McCarthy wins with this roster, if he wins a playoff game with this roster, Mike Tomlin, you're not a Hall of Famer. Because at least with McCarthy, he is an offensive mind and he's willing to at least be in the modern NFL. Not fucking 2007. Like, what the fuck are we doing? So, anyway, guys, I am glad that Mike McCarthy has brought in a staff like this. It's going to be very interesting to see what he does with it. If you do want to see more videos like this, please make sure to go hit that like button. Make sure to go subscribe to the channel. And let me know. Do you think Mike McCarthy can win a playoff game with this staff and with these players? If you think so, please let me know. Anyway, this has been the boy. And I will see you in the next video. And I am out.